Let me ask you something real quick. How did you feel about 2023? 2024? Were they the years you thought they'd be? Or did they beat you down, leave you questioning yourself, wondering if you'd ever bounce back? I don't know your specific story, but here's what I do know. You're here, right now, watching this video. That means you haven't given up. That's where it all starts. Today, we're going to map out exactly how you make 2025 the greatest comeback of your life. But listen, this isn't about motivation or rah-rah speeches. This is a personal conversation between you and me about strategy, mindset, and taking action. Because let me tell you something no one wants to say out loud. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your friends, not your boss, not the government. But that's not a bad thing, because once you fully grasp that, you realize the power is and always has been in your hands. So, let's talk about how to use that power. Part 1. The brutal truth. Movie you need to face. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Life is not fair. It never has been, and it never will be. You can complain about the cards you've been dealt, or you can figure out how to play them like a pro. But before we can talk about action, you have to confront the brutal truth. Where are you falling short? Be honest with yourself. Are you stuck because of bad habits? Because of the people you're surrounding yourself with? Because of your fear? Or because you're waiting for perfect conditions that will never come? Write it down. I mean it. Get a pen and paper. Pause this video if you have to, and write down what's holding you back. Because 2025 is not going to be your year unless you own your failures from the past. Accountability isn't just some buzzword, it's the first step to freedom. Part 2. Break the chains holding you down. Now that you know what's holding you back, it's time to start breaking those chains. And here's the secret. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's where most people fail. Instead, I want you to focus on small, consistent changes. If you're wasting 3 hours a day scrolling on your phone, start with 1 hour of focused time. Just one. Use that hour to work on something that moves the needle. Whether it's your health, your finances, or your relationships, pick one area and dominate it. But here's the thing. Consistency beats intensity. Forget about those 30-day challenges that promise to change your life. Real comebacks are built through unglamorous, day in, day out effort. I want you to commit to 90 days. Just 90. That's enough time to rebuild momentum, and it's short enough that you won't quit halfway through. Part 3. Who you spend time with matters more than anything. Let me tell you something that took me years to figure out. The people around you will either push you forward or hold you back. There's no middle ground. So here's what I want you to do. Audit your circle. Who are the top 5 people you spend the most time with? Do they inspire you, challenge you, hold you accountable? If not, it's time to distance yourself. I know that sounds harsh, but if you're serious about making 2025 your comeback year, you can't afford to let toxic people stay in your life. Find mentors, join groups with like-minded people, surround yourself with winners, and you'll start thinking and acting like one. Remember, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with the most. Keep that knowledge summed up with that quote in your mind. It is that simple yet important. Part 4. Create a vision that scares you. Now let's talk about your vision. What do you want your life to look like in 2025? Not some vague idea. Get specific. Write it down. Describe it in detail. Here's the kicker. If your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you stretch yourself, when you pursue something so ambitious that it forces you to level up. But don't stop at writing it down. Break it into chunks. What do you need to accomplish in the next 6 months? The next 90 days? The next week? Goals don't mean anything without action steps. I recommend journaling and writing down what you have to do for the next day, in the evening before. What you write is solidified in your mind. That way you are sure to be responsible of what you have to do. Part 5. Handle setbacks like a champion. Cut to the speaker walking outside, talking while in motion. Speaker, here's the part no one likes to talk about. You're going to fail, you're going to mess up, you're going to hit roadblocks, and that's okay. What matters isn't that you fall. It's how quickly you get back up. Every time life knocks you down in 2025, I want you to remember this. Setbacks are tests. They're there to see if you're serious about your comeback. Most people quit when things get hard. But you're not most people. You're going to use every failure as fuel to push harder. Part 6. The power of discipline over motivation. Let me leave you with this. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. There are going to be days in 2025 when you don't feel like putting in the work. Those are the days that matter most. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Build systems in your life that make it easier to stay consistent. Plan your days the night before. Set non-negotiable habits. The more disciplined you are, the less you'll need to rely on fleeting motivation. Remember, you are a man. There is no one coming to rescue you besides yourself. You are the only person in the world who can make it work, and the only person in this world who can mess it up. Rely on yourself, your hard work, hardened character, and discipline first and foremost. Grind. Work hard. Never skip a day of work. Keep in touch with God and your spiritual side. Never lose hope. Stay disciplined, and it will all work out in the end, I promise, brother. Crush your enemies without mercy. Crush your goals and get what you want for yourself. Just go out and grab it. God's blessings are there at the reach of your hand. He will give them to you if you are hardworking enough. Do not slack off. Fast. Do what has to be done, no matter how you feel. Every day. Do not masturbate like a pathetic rat. Go on and conquer the next year. 2025 is going to be a turning point, but only if you make it one. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect time. The greatest comeback of your life starts now, with the choices you make today. And if you've made it this far, I already know you've got what it takes. Now it's time to prove it to yourself. This is your year. Don't waste it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Until next time.